Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. I have the Knights Templar Tarot on the tarot table because I want to ask the cards Trump versus the King of King Charles. You know, for Trump, like both countries that Trump wants to go after have monarchies. And generally, monarchies are there to protect the people, the common people, from rogue governments. I don't know how much exactly they can do, but they do have some control. And it's interesting that both countries that he wants has monarchies. So I'm going to ask the cards, Trump versus King Charles. Because at the end of the day, if Trump invades Canada, which the cards have shown he won't, but if he does, he has a king and all the UK. It's not just Canada that he's fighting. He's fighting the UK and King Charles and the monarchy. The king hasn't said a lot. He did a Commonwealth speech that was supposed to be rah-rah. It didn't give me a lot of confidence. I just want to see what's going on. Now, Trump had he thought he had a good relationship with the monarchy, with the Queen. The King has invited him to come up to Balmoral this summer. Was that just a diplomatic, tip of the hat? But right after Zelensky left the White House, he ran to the palace. Well, he ran up to the UK, landed in London, saw Starmer, and he also ran up to the palace. So what's going on there? And I know King Charles has to remain neutral. I know that. Okay. Upright positives, reversals negative, Trump on top, King Charles on the third. What's happening here with the King and Trump? What's happening here? Is there any diplomacy? Is the King worried? What's going on? Does Trump think the King's a pushover? Do tell, universe. Tell us as much as you can. Tell us as much as you can. Trump on top, King Charles on the bottom, upright positive, reversals negative, majors are red. Cards are ready. Okay. 10 of Pentacles for Trump. Oh, I could see if that was for the King. But that's his legacy. That's his dynasty that he's building, actually. That's the wealthy family that he's got. Wow, King of Pentacles in reverse for the King. 4 of Wands upright for Trump. The Hanged Man in reverse for the King. 8 of Cups upright for Trump. Knight of Wands in reverse for the King. Knight of Pentacles in reverse for Trump. 4 of Pentacles in reverse for the King. King of Wands in reverse for Trump. The 3 of Wands upright for the King. I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why. Justice in reverse for Trump. 9 of Swords upright for the King. And one more. 3 of Cups in reverse for Trump. Queen of Wands upright for the King. Underlying the Magician. All right, so this is just a movie, guys. Just a movie being played out. Okay. I'm not surprised here. Obviously, let's see. 1, 2, 2 for Trump, 3 for the King. So yeah, the King has the upper hand here. And even look at the last cards. We have 3 of Cups in reverse. Well, that's no celebration. Justice in reverse, he doesn't get his way. And King of Wands in reverse, any kind of military action just won't work. But for the King, he's got 3 of Wands. And I was going to, what is not surprising there is that's what the King does. He's just really patient. Never any kind of knee-jerk reaction. Never says anything off the cuff. Just waits. They just wait. They're very patient. They play the long game, the royal family. Now, the 9 of Swords here, it does keep him up at night. He is worried. It is a viable threat. But this Queen of Wands here, this tells me that diplomacy, Queen of Wands is very diplomatic. Diplomacy will win the day here. And even though it keeps him up at night, he there's no way Trump's going to get Canada. Like, no way. Now, what's happened here is the King of Pentacles in reverse, the Hanged Man in reverse, and Knight of Wands in reverse. I think a lot of people see the king in a different light. They see him as a weak king. The Four of Pentacles here in reverse, he really doesn't have control. That doesn't mean he doesn't have control. He just really doesn't. He doesn't have control of the narrative. He doesn't have control of how people are perceiving him. Like, I'm getting that he just cannot read the room. And I think, and I've said this before about the royals, that they live such a sequestered life. It almost puts them at a disadvantage out in the world, especially in today's world. Maybe before the internet, they could get away with a lot of things and it was just the media that was reporting them. But now everybody with a phone, everybody with a camera, everybody with their conspiracy theories, etc., etc., and how much media is out there. It's not just a newspaper and the 6 o'clock news anymore. We've got reporters reporting on all kinds of things. We have social media, X. Every day there's something about the royals on X. He has not been reading the room. He's not well versed in how he looks against Trump. He honestly isn't. He thinks, he can't take it, I'm the king. And he doesn't realize, I mean, he could be, you have to remember the king doesn't have a phone, an electronic phone. He doesn't scroll. Trust me, he doesn't. So he might not have a lot of ideas of what Trump is going on about around Canada. Perhaps he's like, only tell me the highlights or something. But he's not reading the room, and it's somewhat damaging to his reputation that him using his never explain, never complain, their infinite patience actually is somewhat making him look foolish. That I'm not saying he has to respond to everything that Trump says, but putting his foot down and and saying, this land is my land, this land is not your land. Or standing up for the Canadian people. I know a lot of the Canadians now are saying, why do we have a monarchy? They didn't, where's the Governor General? Where's the King? While Trudeau's raping this country, doing all sorts of illegal things. No one's arresting him. I mean, that was supposed to be our safety net. And in my whole 60 years of living in Canada, I have never heard louder calls for the end of the monarchy than within this last 6 months. I'm not kidding you. There's like, what's the point? What are we paying for? What's the point? What is the point? Are we sure it's theirs? When did they get, like, people are looking into things that I've never heard Canadians say ever. Like, are we sure it's theirs? When did it become theirs? Like, who did they buy it from? What happened? Who did they trade it for? Like, and really looking into the archives just to make sure that this monarchy actually, this is their country. And how do we get out of this Commonwealth? Like, it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And he's just not reading the room. He's looking like with his King of Pentacles in reverse. Between what Harry has done to him and what's going on politically, he's looking like a very weak king. Very weak king. And I think, he's not getting much sleep. It does affect him. But let's get back to the question about Trump. Now, I think Trump will be gone before this ends. I think as long as Trump is president and as long as Trump is alive, he's going to state that he wants the 51st state. But if he is slowed down for any reason, I think that idea will just fade away. And then maybe that's perhaps how the monarchy wins this battle. I don't like these cards here for Trump at all. I don't want to go into great details. Um, I know a lot of times I explain to you what each card means, but combined, I don't like what this says. I really don't. Um, all I know is he's not going to attack Canada. He definitely is not going to attack. And I think that, um, I think again, I've read the cards many times, different cards. He's just, he's just being a blowhard. He knows the Achilles heel and he's going in for the kill. And he knows he can't get Canada. He knows. So this is all art of the deal. So he wants some of those tariffs reduced. He wants, tit for tat kind of thing. And I mean, a lot of people think he's going about it the wrong way. I mean, obviously, this isn't the 1500s. You get on your horse and you ride up somewhere and put your flag down and say, "This is mine now." I think eventually he's just going to walk away from the deal or walk away from the rhetoric because he knows he'll never win. But I think what's going to happen is that I mean, as long as he's president, we're going to hear about it. But as soon as he's no longer president, I don't think the next president is going to carry that baton. I think this is his own personal way of dealing with things. I think it's his own personal trying to be the bully in the schoolyard, trying to get his way, trying to get the art of the deal. That might be why the king hasn't said anything either, is because he's not dealing directly with the king. He's dealing with the government of Canada. He's not even dealing directly with Canadian people. I personally don't think he has anything against the Canadian people. I think he just really does not like our government because of who owns our government, and that's the Chinese Communist Party. So I think at the end of the day, with this magician card and all the spin doctoring that's going on, I think Trump is just being aggressive, maybe aggressive bully, and the king knows that. And the king hasn't said anything because the king's not dealing directly with Donald Trump over tariffs and whatnot. This is a government to government thing. But I think the king is quite well assured that Donald Trump is not going to take over Canada. And once Donald Trump is no longer president, it will be a non-issue. I don't believe the next president is going to fight for it. There'll be no war. There'll be no takeover. I'm just worried that there's going to be a passing of roles down. Could be both of them. All right. Well, there you go. Trump versus the king. The king will win. And I think I think it'll eventually fade away. Nothing will really come of it, especially from the next president. They'll drop it. I think Trump is just trying to show how he can wheel and deal to get his way, and he's actually a master at it. And I think I know some 10-year-olds that could get their way with this government, to tell you the truth. Okay, well, thank you very much for spending this time with me. The YouTube's going to show you a video you possibly haven't seen yet, so why don't you click on that, and I'll see you over there. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.